Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. Please sit down. You are KSHITIJ GYANRAJ.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. Where are you staying?
Ma'am, I stay at AIMS, Delhi.
In New Delhi?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Nearby, oh, in AIMS itself.
Yes,
Okay, okay. You are the AIMS guy. What are you doing? Are you working?
Yes, ma'am. Currently, I am doing my MD degree in nuclear medicine.
Oh, wow. That's very good. Why do you want to join the IAS after nuclear medicine? IAS, they don't match.
Ma'am, currently as a doctor, I am able to treat individual patients, like I am treating a patient of anemia.
Okay.
But I am not able to solve the root cause of the problem, like food security, malnutrition. So I want to deal with all those issues.
You want to deal with the overall.
Overall.
So the Madam Finance Minister, she mentioned sickle cell anemia. You must have heard, she said,
Yes,
we
ma'am.
want to,
Eliminate
delete sickle cell anemia. What is sickle cell?
Ma'am, in sickle cell anemia, there is mutation in hemoglobin, ma'am,
Right.
where glucine is changed with valine. It
Right.
leads to, when there is low oxygen concentration in blood, then leads to sickling, which can cause ischemic crisis in various organs.
So how do you treat it? What do you do with sickle cell? Like a lot of women have sickle cell, their children also get it. So how do you manage it?
For that, there are two types of hemoglobin. In sickle cell patients, we try to increase the other hemoglobin, that is HbF and HbO2, by giving hydroxyurea.
Okay.
In
So
addition,
that helps.
yes, ma'am. In addition, we can use genetic treatment.
Genetic medicine, or I mean whatever the problem be. Now suppose there is a child, a small child, 2-year-old, and he can't walk properly, like he can hold this and stand, but he can't, on his own he'll fall off. So what do you think is wrong?
Ma'am, there could be multiple reasons. One could be the patient is having problem with the eyesight.
Eyesight.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So that patient is not able to
Can't see.
Can't see. The patient
Right.
is not able to recognize the immediate environment.
Okay.
Then there could be developmental delays.
Right.
And
But that is okay, is it? If it is little delayed, it's all right, is it?
And in addition, there could be neurological disease like
Neuro problem.
Neuro problem.
But it can be cured, you think?
Ma'am, some causes can be cured, some cannot. Like if the baby is having polio, then that would not
No,
be.
he doesn't have polio. Otherwise he is very overactive, but can't walk on his own. He's 2 years old, so people get worried.
More likely to be little
He
developmental.
will be treated like. No, he gets treatment, neurological plus the muscular. Okay, doesn't matter. So tell me, I read a news item that after the United States, the second spy balloon was detected in Latin America. Have you read about it?
Sorry, ma'am.
You have not read. It is quite, quite well talked about. Doesn't matter. So there have been in Chile. You know where Chile is? South America.
South America.
Yeah. So about 39 wildfire problems have arisen, and in the heat wave, like there is a heat wave and there is wildfire. So have you read about this or you haven't? You haven't read. Doesn't matter. So tell me, there is a word in Hindi called pataka. Pataka.
Yes, ma'am.
Have you heard?
Yes, ma'am. It means.
What does it mean?
It means flag, ma'am.
Flag. So why do you think we have a flag for everything? Independence Day, flag. Sports, flags. Why do we honor this flag?
Ma'am, flags give us an identity, a sense of identity, and in addition, it helps us to relate with it.
Honor it because it is a symbol, right?
Flags also help us in celebration
Yes.
of various events.
That's right. Right, sir. आप पूछिए.
You mentioned that you as a doctor are able to treat a patient, but you want to tackle the root cause. How will you do that? As an administrator or as a district collector, how will you sort of tackle those root causes? You mentioned a few. You mentioned malnutrition.
To tackle those issues, first an intersectoral coordination is required between various departments. Finances have to be managed, and proper policy making is required, like various
Say malnutrition, what is the policy that you will recommend?
So for malnutrition, there are various programs like Poshan and midday meal scheme. So the challenges that are there in midday meal scheme, for example, that there is siphoning of food items, then local based food items should be utilized. So I would look into those issues.
Local based food items. Okay. And you have given foreign service as your second preference
Yes.
over IPS. So what do you think your role as a IFS officer is going to be?
So, as an IFS officer, I would promote international cooperation in various forums and represent India at various bilateral negotiations so that India can achieve its goal and national interest.
Anything about trade, etc.?
So I will, as an IFS officer, sir, I would negotiate better bilateral treaties, better trade agreements, so that our trade deficit decreases and there is a growth of our economy.
Okay, tell us about Quad. What is Quad?
So Quad stands for Quadrilateral Security Group. It has 4 members: US, India, Japan, and Australia. The objective is to promote security primarily in the Indian Ocean region.
Is it the South Asian NATO?
So it would not be correct to say that it is a South Asian NATO, because in NATO there are strong affiliations among the groups. Like it is a military pact, but Quad is not a military pact. It is more of a in dialogue nature.
But one of the objectives besides others is security. One of the objectives
Yes,
of Quad is security.
yes.
So, in view of that, isn't it something somewhat like NATO?
So security is one of the main objectives of the Quad, but it has other objectives like economy and connectivity and free trade.
Why does China consider it as a South Asian NATO?
So China considers it as a South Asian NATO. The reason being that the members of the grouping are having sometimes tense relations with China. Like America is involved in trade war with China, and India has the border issues with China. So because of the bilateral issues that China have, and these groupings have come together, so China considers it as a military alliance.
Why was Australia hesitant to join Quad?
So Australia has deep economic ties with China, and it does not want to negate China.
How do you see the end game in Ukraine?
So currently it is almost going to be 1 year to the Russia-Ukraine war, and the West has recently given many military equipments to the Ukraine. So as of now, the war seems to be continuing for some time.
What do you see? How do you see it developing in near future?
In near future, sir,
is it going to end? Is it going to blow up further?
So it is at present, sir. It is blowing up further, but to establish international peace, I think the international community has to come together and find an amicable solution to the problem.
Don't you think that your training as doctor, which has been you studied in AIIMS throughout almost, I think, which has been subsidized by taxpayers' money, by then converting into an administrator, the government is losing out. Why should you not pay back the entire amount spent on your training as a doctor?
So as a doctor, the skills that I have learned, like the communication skills and other administrative management skills, those skills would be utilized by me in serving the country better as an administrator.
Okay, Dr. Kshitij.
Yes, sir.
Budget presented this year is a move forward towards fiscal consolidation coupled with growth and inclusion. How will you justify? Should I repeat? Budget presented this year is a move forward towards fiscal consolidation coupled with growth and inclusion.
So, as per the budget, we are going to have a growth rate of around 7%, and the multiple reforms have been done in the previous few years, and there have been various schemes for inclusion, schemes for women, like small saving scheme for women, and all. And to promote growth, sir, the government has brought many schemes, like for MSMEs, Vivad Se Vishwas, and for better contract dispute settlement. And sir, for fiscal consolidation, the government is targeting to have this year they are expecting that it will be around 6.5% of GDP, but they are in the path to reduce it to 4.5%.
By the year?
By the 2025-26. And for there is a lot of investment for capital expenditure. There is lot of capital expenditure in railways and in green economy. So all this is going to crowd in private investment, which will contribute to growth.
Okay. RT-PCR stands for?
So, real-time polymerase chain reaction.
Or reverse transcriptase?
Reverse transcriptase.
So, what do you mean by reverse transcriptase?
So, reverse transcriptase means it is an enzyme which converts RNA to DNA.
The process is called?
Reverse transcription.
Reverse transcription. Who discovered reverse transcriptase 4 or 5 decades back? Who were those two scientists who discovered?
Sorry, sir, I have to check.
Tamin and Baltimore. Anyway. Thalassemia, why it is named so? Thalassemia. You know thalassemia?
Yes, sir.
What is thalassemia and why is it named so?
So, thalassemia is a bleeding disorder, sir. And in this, there is change in the hemoglobin structure.
Why is it named so?
Sorry, sir, I don't know why.
Has human genome been deciphered?
Yes, sir. Human genome, a lot of human genome has been deciphered, but there are many components of genome for which we do not know what exactly their functions are.
And has rice genome been deciphered? And is there any contribution from India towards deciphering the rice genome?
Sorry, sir.
Okay, Maldives. Elections are going to be held in Maldives in September 2023. Why is it a cause of concern to our country?
Sir, in Maldives, the party there has been lot of anti-India support, and the party that is expected to.
At present, whether there is pro-India or?
At present, it is pro-India, sir.
Pro-Indian, and prior to?
There have been instances where anti-India parties have come to power in Maldives.
Okay, so that's why it is a cause of concern. Okay, so Egypt president was here.
Yes,
on Republic Day celebration. So why did India choose him to be the chief guest on Republic Day, and in which fields we are going to collaborate with Egypt? Why did we choose him to be the chief guest on Republic Day? Number 2, in which fields we are going to collaborate with Egypt?
So, we have called Egyptian president to be the chief guest of Republic Day because of strategic reasons. India wants to improve relations in Middle East, in the Arab region, sir. And we are going to collaborate in the field of technology and petroleum.
5-6 main field of collaboration.
So, sorry, sir, I have to check.
Okay, what is this vexillology?
So it is the study of flags.
Study of flags.
Yes, sir.
So what do you study in flags? Just to know that about the flag, and what exactly you study in there?
I study about the design of the flag and what does the motifs or the color mean in that flag, sir.
Okay.
The meaning of the motifs and symbols and colors in the flag.
Okay, thank you.
What are the main radioisotopes that you use in nuclear medicine?
So in nuclear medicine, we use technetium. Then
Technetium what? What is the particular isotope number?
So, technetium labeled MDP, DMSA, DTPA.
No, I'm asking you for the isotope number, the
Technetium
how-
43, sir.
all right.
Technetium
right.
43,
And what else? Anything else?
F18,
All right.
177 lutetium.
All right. Now, on what basis are these chosen? Why are these particular isotopes chosen for nuclear medicine?
Sir, these radioisotopes undergo disintegration, and they release X-rays or gamma rays, alpha particles, beta particles. So we wish to utilize this particle, gamma rays and alpha beta particles.
That means you use them to trace something.
Yes.
All right. Now, AIIMS, Delhi particularly, is highly overcrowded. What would you suggest for reducing that the pressure on the facilities of AIIMS Delhi?
Yes.
Particularly, why?
To reduce the pressure, sir, the government has brought up many AIIMS-like institutions in other regions, so that people are treated there and there itself and not referred to AIIMS Delhi. In addition, sir, strengthening of primary health care center would reduce burden on tertiary
No, but
care.
are you getting patients here who are basically, who could have undergone treatment in a primary health center? You are a super specialty institution.
Yes. But many patients,
How does primary health center help in that?
sir, because many patients that we see could be treated at a primary center. They also come to AIIMS.
How do you prevent that? Do you have some initial examination in AIIMS?
Yes, sir. What we can do is we can have a screening OPD where we screen patients and then decide on if they then decide on they could be taken for further treatment at AIIMS, and rest of the treatments could be given some primary treatment and referred to other centers in Delhi, like Safdarjung and.
What about people coming from the rest of the country? There are people coming from all over the country, I suppose, to AIIMS. So how do you ensure that people don't come from, say, Odisha? I'm sure there must be some patients from Odisha also coming. Do you think it's justified generally that those patients coming to AIIMS Delhi, could they have been treated in Odisha?
Sir, for this, sir, we should improve the infrastructure and recruit as many doctors as possible, and try to run the OPDs not only in the morning but also in the evening and evening
But
time.
now, AIIMS recently had this cyber breakdown, right? The cyber systems broke down. What was this due to? Inefficiency, or was it some hacking? Do you have some information?
So it was done by Chinese agency, and they locked the websites and asking for ransom, sir. It was done through a ransomware.
Was it a Chinese agency, government agency?
It's a Chinese spy group, sir.
All right. So supposedly based in China. How
China.
do you trace that they are from China?
Sir,
How is that traced?
So this investigation has been done by our cybersecurity experts like CDAC and CBI.
CBI has cyber security expertise. What is CBI's expertise in this?
They would. I'll have to check, sir, but I think they would have given some technical advice.
Right. Now, one last point. See, you have opted for Hindi as your Indian language. Right? You are from Odisha, and you have opted for Odisha cadre as your first preference. Now, that does mean you're more comfortable in Hindi than in Odia. You have opted for Odia as your language?
Yeah, sir, I have done my schooling from Visakhapatnam, and my father was in central government. Right. So, due to transferable jobs, sir, I could learn Hindi better than Odia. But at home we speak Odia, and I am comfortable in both Hindi and Odia.
Or would you be like your chief minister? I believe he did not know Odia when he became chief minister. Was that true?
Yes, sir, but he has learned Odia.
So you will also go and learn Odia.
Sir, I know Odia, sir. I am
You
comfortable.
know Odia well enough, so even if you are posted in Odisha, you won't have a problem.
No, sir.
Right, thank you. Right.
Kshitij, medically, can you explain to me what is brain, mind, and consciousness? Do they have any existence medically?
Sir, brain is the structural, anatomical part, sir. When it comes to mind, sir, it is psychological part, sir. It is what we are thinking. So if an anatomical disturbance can disturb the psychological part, and sir, sometimes even if there is no anatomical disturbance, no apparent anatomical disturbance, there could be disturbance of the mind. Like few psychiatric diseases are there which have disturbance of the mind, but they are not found anatomically where the primary cause is. And consciousness means, sir, if you are alert and awake. So both the mind and the brain would have influence on our consciousness.
Okay. Okay. And what is the medical understanding when one dies, all these three things vanishes or anything continues? What is your belief?
Sir, when a person dies, then we call it a brain death. So the brain dies, sir, and
Mind?
The person is death. So the mind and consciousness would also not exist at that point of time.
Okay. And you believe in that?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely?
With limited knowledge that I have, sir, I believe in it.
Okay. One more question. Tell me three most important challenges that our country is facing right now. And what do you think you can do about it?
So, sir, three most important challenges that our country is facing is one. So first is that we have youth which is not skilled enough to lead the country. So skilling is one primary objective to be solved in near future. Second, sir, we have a lot of environmental issues would take second number for me. Like we are threatening biodiversity, and we have a lot of air pollution in our country. So protecting environment so that we can give a better future for our future generations would be second objective. That is to have a more sustainable development. Third would be to eliminate poverty, sir, and have a more equal development in all the regions of the country.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Thank you.
Fair enough. Good luck.
Thank you.
Good luck. Do well.
All the best.